Okay, I'm recording. So what is minimum wage?
Minimum amount that you have to pay someone.
The minimum amount per hour you have to pay someone. Or an employer pays you, I guess. Or it depends on if you're the employer or not.
I found it.
Okay. Do you guys, what did you say you thought it was, Connor?
I thought it was a little.
That is too high.
It's like 10.50.
So it depends. First of all, there's a different minimum wage from the United States and from the state. Do you know which one we go by?
States.
You go by, and this is for all 50 states, you go by whichever one's higher. Okay? So if the US minimum wage, all right, and the US minimum wage, anybody want to guess what that is? It's low.
$7.50.
$7.25. Okay, $7.25 an hour is the US minimum wage. And there are some states where they don't have a rule about it in their state, so they default to $7.25, or some of them have a rule that is lower than $7.25, and therefore they have to abide by the $7.25. Minnesota is higher. We have a small business one and a large business one. A large business is if the business makes more than $500,000 a year. So any business that's like a corporation like Walmart or Target or Quick Trip will have to abide by this. But if you're working for a farm and the farm doesn't pay out to its employee or doesn't profit $500,000 a year, then they don't have to pay that. The small one is $8.85. So if you're working on a farm or something and you are official, as in you're not being paid under the table, you should be making at least $8.85 an hour. And if it's a large corporation, it is $10.85. So if you're making more than that per hour from your business, then they are offering you more than they are required to, which is good. Does everybody get paid hourly?
No.
What's the other options?
Salary.
Salary. What kind of job would be a salary job?
Manager or like a college teacher.
Sure, teaching, manager. Anybody else think of one?
Oh,
Huh?
nurse.
Nurse, anything in the medical profession pretty much. Okay, so the difference between a minimum wage and a salary job is that a salary job, you work until the job's done. Minimum wage, you work specific hours. So what your boss can't do is if you're working, not just minimum wage, if you're working an hourly wage job, your boss can't be like, hey, can you come in on Friday and work an extra 3 hours, but we're not going to pay you. If they want you to work extra, they pay you for extra. They can either pay you in overtime or just the regular hourly wage, but they must pay you. Where a salary worker works until the job's done. So when I go home and I grade papers at night, that's just part of my salary, right? That's just part of my daily thing. Okay. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Cool. So we are this one or this one. The US is the default, but because our Minnesota one is higher, we do not go with the US. Okay, next thing I'm going to pass out is a comparing jobs worksheet. Last night, I was such a piece of crap. I just sat at my house, did nothing, and it was wonderful.
Big facts.
My kids wanted to be with me my first week, or the first week of school, because I think they see me as kind of the primary parent. Yeah?
We go, okay. Big facts.
Yes, we're done with the vocab. And and then my ex-husband is going on a trip with his girlfriend. Yeah. Girlfriend that he's had since before the divorce. Anyway, they're going on a trip for a week. and it's during the time when he was supposed to take the kids, so I'm gonna get them for like 3 weeks in a row, which is really cool. And I'm happy about, because I like spending time with them, but last night and tonight are the only nights I don't have kids for like this month. And so last night, I literally like laid on my living room floor and like watched garbage TV and like ate takeout, and I was like, nah, like just a monster. And it felt great. So, don't get me wrong, I love having my kids, but being the only parent in the house is intense. Okay, so, anyway, what we're doing here is we're comparing jobs. Do you see how I crossed out the first question? Okay. We're just gonna do this 1 through 6 right now together. Grab a calculator if you don't have one.
I forget what number I am.
3.
3.
Anybody else need their calculator number? Bryce, have you been putting your phone up here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So it looks like we've got 3 different places where you could work. This one, what does PT mean?
Part-time.
Part-time. Everybody write down part-time, or as Trey calls it, part-time. It's a very nice song, Trey. Jan's Cleaners or the Willow Day Camp. So let's say that you're offered these 3 jobs and you want to kind of look between them. What is the hourly wage for working at Fred's Franks? All right, Fred's Franks, it looks like you work afternoons, 12 hours weekly. That means that your total for the week is just 12 hours. And that's how much money you get. So how do we figure out the hourly wage? Divide them. Which one do I put in first, the 12 or the 100.8? 100.8. In your calculator, please. Divided by 12. I got $8.40 an hour.
Yep.
Everything in this class is going to have a label. So please don't just write down numbers. Don't write 8.4. Make sure there's at least a $sign involved. What's the weekly pay for working at Jan's Cleaners? How do you figure this out?
7
Times the hours by how many days they work.
Okay. So it looks like they work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 to 8. How many hours is that? 4 each, 12 hours. So it'd be, I'm actually going to write that right on here. Everybody write down 12 hours, $8.85 an hour. So if you're trying to find the weekly pay, you take 12 times $8.85. I got $106.20. Weekly pay for working at Willow Lake Day Camp. All right, now Willow Lake Day Camp is kind of weird here. Counselor for 7 weeks, July to August, $2,520. Do you think? What are the hours if you're working at a day camp?
all every day.
All day, yeah. And I don't know if it's every day, but it's definitely
For 7 weeks.
for 7 weeks. So, and probably it's not every day. That's why they're not asking you what the hourly pay is. They're asking what the weekly pay is. So if you divide this by 7, looks like you're making $360 a week. Okay, so should we automatically say, wow, you're making $360 a week compared to that $106.20? Take the day camp.